Go ahead.
No, we got that revised agenda, right, with the minutes and the working notes. Was that A or was that B?
A.
So we have to,
Oh, sorry.
okay.
I'll rephrase that. I need a motion to approve the working minutes of our meeting,
Of whenever that was.
November 15th, 2013,
Yeah.
or excuse me, November 20th, 2013. I apologize.
Yes.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Any seconds? No seconds? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now we can move on to item A, which is approving the 2014 schedule of meetings. May I have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Thank you. Second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Discussion this evening on the agenda is going forward with a joint meeting with the Economic Development Commission. Ray, can you let us know where we're at with that? Are they interested in meeting, or?
I haven't met with them, and I don't know who's on the commission yet.
Okay.
So, no.
Okay, so we're still waiting for
Yeah.
members to be chosen and a chair to be picked and all of that to go forward. Okay, so we'll kind of move that forward as
I
we
just-
move along.
Yeah, I have a question. So will you be meeting with them before we meet again so that maybe you can bring that to their attention?
If there's a commission I'm scheduled to meet with them
Because I know
second Tuesday of the month, next week.
Oh, so
There's a
that's not
week
going to
following.
happen. Because the people are not even being chosen until this week, and then they
Correct.
won't be brought to the full council for approval until the end of January, our first meeting, our next meeting in
Okay.
January. So that's not going to happen, right?
Not with new members, I imagine.
Right.
I'm not sure, but I assume the current members sit until they're replaced.
That's my assumption, yeah.
Right.
So I'll be meeting with the current commission.
Okay,
And
we
I'm
don't
not
know
sure
what it's
how
going
many
to
of
look
them will
like.
be on the commission afterwards, so,
Okay.
So what we're looking at is just moving this agenda item
yes.
forward and just
forward.
till we are able to set a
February.
date.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, because we had talked about making that kind of a priority and getting our purpose oriented. Item number 4, Director's Report. Ray, do you have anything to report this evening?
Just if you want me to go over my monthly report, I can.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. I am categorized in certain, under certain headings. The first one is the Foundry. No update on the Foundry. That's currently pending. Town Center West, the developer's been working with ConnDOT on their traffic permit since July. They expected a decision by early September, and that was extended to October into November. Now we're in January.
Is there a reason for the holdup, or is it just politics as usual up there?
I assume it's their new improved process,
Okay, excellent.
which I'm being
Has,
sarcastic, but
I am being sarcastic, too.
Has Representative Guerrera been notified, since I thought he was on the Transportation Committee?
he has not yet. I'm waiting for, the last meeting the developer had with the state was in December, and he told
Okay.
me just to hold off to see how that goes.
Okay,
And then, if he needs us, he'll call me, or I'll call him probably this week.
okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Ames, no progress, no sale, no lease, no redevelopment. The owner did get some, told me he got some quotes for demolition a
Ooh.
couple of months ago, but nothing has
Transpired.
transpired since.
Mhm.
A few economic development activities. I'm still researching the logistics and financing for developing a community signage plan that includes wayfinding and other types of signage to help identify landmarks, businesses in town
Okay.
with the holidays and what have you, and we haven't gone much further.
Okay.
I and the town engineer are assisting Synthetic Cinema. It's a local production company here on the Silas-Dean Highway. They produce horror movies.
I saw
Horror?
that on your report.
In fact, a few years ago, they filmed at the Foundry.
there. Okay,
and
well, that's
That was
interesting.
scary.
As of this week and last week, they're filming in our business park property
Oh.
down by Dividend Road, down by the old
Another
Pratt
horror movie?
Another horror movie.
Are they looking for extras?
Yeah. They tipped over a tractor trailer, and the monster came out of the back of the truck yesterday. So they should be out of there by Saturday or Sunday.
Very interesting. That's nice publicity for the town.
They also built a cabin up in some factory building in Manchester where they're filming another scene. So they're all over the state. They were looking for a diner, so they try to keep everything local.
Cool.
Great.
I received a request for assistance for retail space on the Silestein Highway. The property they were interested in didn't work out. So what I typically do is that 84-page document that I have in your package, I have that in a PDF file, so I would normally just send out a number of those that I thought would fit their profile, and they would contact me or I'd follow up. So haven't had additional progress on that. That was about 2 weeks ago.
Is that anything like big retail where you can put them in with Kohl's? Like Christmas tree shop? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, hint.
That Kohl's Plaza, it's a nice development. Excuse me. But for a lot of retail, there isn't enough density of other retail, existing
Right,
retail, and it's
yeah.
too far off the Silestein Highway and not visible enough. Those are the reasons why.
Is anything happening with Aldi's? I drove by there the other day and it was closed up tighter than a drum. I
No,
mean,
they've been pretty active.
okay, I was surprised.
If anything, could I
yes.
just,
I'm sorry.
go ahead. I would just like to say that, commend those individuals that participated with Small Business Saturday. I'm hoping it was successful for our small businesses, and, hopefully we can make this an annual event. So I see that was
Yeah, I lent a hand to try to get something going.
Good.
To the chamber and to Hill today. Business Now. Yes. Also in your package, you have a fairly updated business inventory. In fact, I updated several pages last Friday. Things keep changing. And I sent it out to the chamber and to Scott's organization for, if they're out in the community a lot more than I am, they're doing business here. And if they're aware of any businesses that I missed or that left town, or just, mark it up or let me know so I can update it.
Now, I had a question on that. Is there any way to put down the type of business? I mean, some of it's obvious by the name, but I know personally it would be interesting to know, like, how many of one type of business you have in here. And then I would also like to know how the business community feels about having one more of the same kind of business. I don't know if that's anything you can control because people have the right to come and go, but do you really want to have 85 of one type of business in a town? I think that would detract from people going to, if you're giving too much of a selection, how do you support all of them? I don't know.
Normally, that's market-driven. I know in Connecticut, it's illegal for towns, planning and zoning commissions to restrict.
Restrict the type of
And
business.
I don't think they should, because that's, again, it's going to be driven by the market.
Mhm.
If a municipality or an area or a region can support 10 targets within a 100-mile, then that's Target's problem if they can't.
Well, I was just thinking more from the small business perspective, I mean, a Target is a big thing, but
Oh,
if you have a
okay.
number of the same type of small business, I know you can't restrict it because you can't do that, but I was just curious if that was anything that was ever discussed.
No, it
No.
wasn't. I mean, it's, successful Main Streets have numbers of different repetitive types of businesses on Main Street, competition. It's like when CVS locates across from a Walgreens or McDonald's and Burger King, or, you go to a thriving Main Street and they have 5 different restaurants in a row. It's competition.
Thank you.
What else? To follow up on your comment about adding columns, I have a spreadsheet, but it's so small. And it has the name of the contact individual, their webpage, what they are, a range of employees. This particular inventory that I had, which was on the webpage since 2008, is really more of an informational for the public. Again, I think you're right, I need to add, what they are, and also categorize them into like retail, personal service, hair, cars. And then I think for maybe an internal type of directory for us to use, for me to use, is the president and CEO or the manager of that particular organization, their email address. And I have a lot of that information.
Great. I found this to be very informative. I mean, it's a lot to go through. It was interesting to see, we're going to discuss this later on as well. This is still a work in progress going through. But to see the amount of viable space already versus land space, it's really interesting to see how we can incentivize businesses to come into existing spaces. And I think we need to kind of, going forward, look at ways to do that, look at ways to bring in those businesses to already existing centers of operation so that we can really grow what's already here. And so we'll definitely be looking into that as well, looking deeper into this as time goes on.
Yeah, that's I've heard that many times. Why build at Town Center West when they can go into like a Kohl's Plaza? But it really doesn't work that way. It's all driven by the market and traffic counts and the characteristics of that particular commercial corridor. One of the problems with the Silestine Highway is it's an aged corridor. Many different property owners, small properties, older buildings. In order to really buy a bunch of properties and put them together to get a larger development or mixed-use development, you have to have probably quite a bit of money. And the ones who have that type of money are usually the chains or the larger developers. And they're really not interested usually in the Silestine Highway. They're going to be going to more so for Manchester or Bloomfield or Windsor, or even the Berlin Turnpike for that matter. Because again, the Berlin Turnpike already has a cluster, a density, so that kind of attracts. So that was one of the original reasons why the town had started the Silestine Highway steep program, with the facade improvements and the phase one of the streetscape, was try to bring up the value of some of the properties and try to make them more attractive for reinvestment. Hopefully we'll continue with that in the future.
Okay. I noticed also there's a lot of medical office space too. And I know working in the medical field that there's always opportunities there to get satellite offices in place for different, now that the healthcare field is expanding so much with urgent cares and velocity type cares and even hospital-centered outpatient facilities. We might want to start looking at targeting more of those hospital-based businesses to get them viable. It's a perfect, beautiful medical office space.
Yeah, I think we have a cluster of medical uses here in town. We have, like you said, a lot.
Right.
Just for for information, we have about our industrial occupancy rate is about 15%. I'm sorry, vacancy rate is about 14%, which is pretty good. The same goes for our office space. It's running about 14 to 15%. And that's based on the CB, which tell us quarterly reports, which is good. I mean, probably a couple of years ago, we were probably 22% vacant.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Is there any correspondence this evening moving along?
I don't have anything in writing, but I did not include in my report. Planning and Zoning Commission will be holding a meeting next Wednesday to review New Cumberland Farms proposal at the corner of Route 3 and France Street, next to Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, really?
Cumberland Farms.
Cumberland
Okay.
Farms.
Can I ask a question on your report, though?
Sure.
Absolutely.
On the grants on the bottom, we're trying to get a steep grant with Parks and Rec for McVicker Field. Is that to replace the whole turf, or what is that for?
Yes, for the turf, that the town council passed a resolution back in November.
Oh, because we were budgeting for that. Is that gonna cover the whole replacement of the turf?
Yes. Well, I shouldn't say yes. We are hoping it will. Yeah, you know, you
Oh.
apply for $500,000. We're not sure, if we do get money, we're not sure how much we'll get.
Okay, so that's what we're applying for is
Yes.
500? Cool.
And we're still working on that CNET grant for the IT.
Yes, we are.
Okay,
Yeah, that's an ongoing process.
thank you. Okay. Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.